right now. Yeah, we're recording. Okay, so I am with the award-winning Amanda Eaton. I looked up your looked up your stats on Ultra Sign Up, and you've won a few races.
I
Like,
have, but I've only done a few.
no, I mean, I don't usually talk to people that win the races, so pretty exciting. So, you are in the Rio Grande Valley?
I am.
What part?
I live in Los Fresnos.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. I used to live in Edinburgh, so that's
Okay.
Shirley and the whole gang, but I'm up in San Antonio now, so I've been up here for almost 6 years. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. So I'm up here with the land of hills and rocks and whatnot. It's a little
Yeah.
different.
We need some of that here.
I know. Well, Sullivan City, I know that's really far for you guys, but what's that one place in Harlingen that we used to run? You know,
McKelvey Park
yes, yes.
has some hills. It's
That was,
the
was it?
mountain bike course, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. But yeah, Sullivan City, which I realize is probably like an hour or so from where you are, but that's where we used to go to, practice on hills and technical
Mhm.
stuff and whatnot, and get chased by motocross people. It was so weird. Anyway, so it's very nice to meet you. And so let's talk a little bit about your are you from Los Fresnos or
I'm not. I'm from the south suburbs of Chicago.
nice. Okay, I'm from Cincinnati, so yeah, let's
Right.
hear it for the Midwest. So how did you end up in Los Fresnos from Colorado?
Well, after college, I moved to Fort Worth, just for Texas cheaper cost of living, and then I came down here for the beach.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, 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 I get it. And how long were you in Chicago?
Um, until I was 24. So
Okay,
I've been
okay.
in Texas a long time. I moved to Texas in 2006.
Okay, that's about when I moved in 2004, so yeah, we're about the same. Yeah, I mean, I was Ohio, Florida, and then Texas. Yeah, so and you said you went to school or college?
I went to University of Illinois. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, where's that?
It's about 2 hours south of Chicago in the middle of some cornfields.
Yeah. Well, my dad's from East St. Louis, so if that makes any
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to spend every summer driving. This is like in the 70s, but a long time ago. But yeah, we used to spend summers driving back from Cincinnati to East St. Louis and just kind of seeing less and less of the place. Yeah, so I'm very familiar with Illinois. Yeah, my aunt lived in Fairview Heights, which again is kind of like on that Illinois Missouri border. But
Okay.
anyway, so how do you like Los Fresnos?
I like it. We like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you say we, you mean your husband and yourself, or your
And
kids?
my sons, I have identical twin boys.
How old?
They're gonna be 10 in June.
Oh, fun. That must be challenging, I guess. I don't know. I don't have kids, so I just can only imagine.
Um, I mean, as far as the twin thing is, that's all I know. And in a lot of ways, I think it like helps because they always have somebody,
Yeah,
they
they've got a
always
buddy.
have someone to play
Right.
with.
Yeah. So, are they identical twins or are they
They
just
are identical.
okay?
They don't look so much identical these days because one of them's a little bit bigger and chubbier, but they are
That's
identical.
okay. No, that's fine. So tell me about your running career then. How did you, again, you seem like you're a very accomplished runner. You just turned 40, right? Is that correct?
I just turned 41.
41. Okay. When?
March 1st.
All right. Happy birthday late. So yeah. So how did you get into running? Or were you
Well, I've been
athletic?
running since I was a kid. I
Okay.
started running in sixth grade. I was kind of a chunky kid.
Really? I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
Um, I'm not like a good, people now would say, Amanda, yes, you are a good athlete, but I'm not like a traditional good athlete. I have no hand-eye coordination. I never played sports or anything. And so I grew up on 5 acres. And so I literally, my mom wouldn't let me run down the street because it was like a country dirt road. And so I literally started running around our property.
That's so cool. So it kind of came easy to you then, right?
Well, no, I mean, it definitely wasn't easy. When I first started, I obviously couldn't make it very far. But I don't know, it's just something I've always enjoyed pushing myself, I guess at. And so then I was in track and cross country, but I was pretty mediocre at those.
But you stuck with it.
Yes, I stuck with it.
And
It was a
why did
hobby.
you stick with it? Because it was something that was kind of hard, but you felt like, well, I could maybe still do this.
Yeah. And then, just making the friendship and camaraderie of it.
Yeah, yeah. So were you a road runner at first and then kind of transitioned to being a trail runner, or how did that?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely still consider myself a road runner.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes runs trails.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, the races that I've done so far to this point, as far as like trails and ultras, I'm certainly not doing super technical. I haven't done really technical courses.
But you're fast.
So like I managed at Habanero, I managed to trip on like the one route out there and like face plant down the little hill. So
The sand's the thing out there.
I know.
Well, that and the heat and everything else.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How did you train for that one?
So I'm a teacher, which
Okay.
allows to run in the middle of the days throughout the summer, but I'm kind of, everyone always gives me a hard time. I don't like to wake up to run. So I'm not somebody who is out there waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. running before work. I don't. I run after.
Uh-huh.
And then even on the weekends, like tomorrow, if I do a long run, I might end up running at 1 or at 11 a.m. or noon.
That's like me. And then you're like, heat training, right? Yeah.
So I'm the jerk who's out there doing it just because I won't get up, which is part of why I chose that race. I was like, hey, I can totally do this.
But that was wise. No, I mean, you've got that in your head and you know how to do it. So what do you teach?
I teach high school biology, chemistry, and physics.
Ooh, where at?
And South Texas ISD Medical Professions. It's a charter high school for like students who want to go into the medical field.
Yeah. And is that also in Los Fresnos then, or?
Part of it's in Olmito, which is like right between Los Fresnos and Brownsville.
Got it. Yeah, I love that area. I know, I miss it. Yeah. So obviously your training for Habanero was, just like kind of born out of the unwillingness to get up and train at 4 a.m. or whatever. So, but I think that's smart. It's so funny because you and Art won, Habanero last year. Like these two Valley people, like, yeah, let's go out in the heat.
Well, yeah, and I mean, he's outside all the time, so he was like, I can do this too.
I know. Oh my God. So was that your first attempt at Habanero? Okay. So what on earth made you decide to sign up for a 100-mile race in the middle of August at noon?
I honestly had never doing 100 miles was certainly never something that was even on my radar. And part of it was, I was like, I don't think I could be running through the night. I didn't have an interest in doing that. And then after I did, Brazos last April as my first 100K, I was still like, I don't know. But that was because of blisters and stuff. I was just like, I can't imagine going 40 more miles on these feet. What happened? And
this is weird for blisters. Yeah.
Blisters ended up being a big problem at Habanero for me as well. But I don't know, afterwards, with how well I did at Brazos, I kind of had that high of, okay, I'm gonna go for it.
Why not? I didn't die. Yeah. So how did it feel going through that race? I mean, again, I just can't even fathom, trying something as challenging as that one. So, I mean, how's your mental game? I mean, do you was that, even part of the equation, or was it just more of the ability and just,
I think for me, it's my mental toughness is really what allows me to do these things. It's not athletic ability at all.
it's
Um,
very true.
it's 100% the grit, and I consider myself having a very good ability to suffer.
I love you. So where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I never thought I would do habanero because I don't like 7IL.
Yeah,
I really, I really hate it there.
not a
I
big fan
actually,
either. Yeah.
I did my first 50K there as well, but it was supposed to be Brazos. It was in 2021 and they moved it there because of COVID.
I did the 30K that time. Yes.
And
Ooh,
and I knew it was going to be real sandy. Art had told me, and like nothing prepares you for it. I was like, okay, I trained on
picturing beach sand. Yeah.
I did for that, but still, I think like 12 miles in after the first two loops, I came back to our little camp and I told my husband, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I felt so defeated because of all the sand.
Oh, it's awful.
And then by mile 20, I was like, okay, I can do this. But I remember I was like taking like stupid videos of the cow, like talking to the cows and telling them like, this is the dumbest idea I've ever had, and sending them to my sister. And I was like, I will never go back to that place. And then of course I would go over there and do 100
Of course
miles.
you did. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was like in November too, right?
No, that one was in April.
Oh, in April. Okay. I guess I did one that was in November. That
They
was like,
moved another one there. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
remember.
maybe it was Brazos. Yeah, maybe that's, I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, so I ended up doing a 30K out there and I was like, okay, this really is not fun. But cool. So what do you think the hardest races that you've ever done to date?
I mean, I would definitely say it was habanero.
Did you think you're going to win it?
I didn't. I was just hoping to survive. Like, I was hoping to finish, and I did believe that I could finish. I never really thought that I wouldn't finish, but you just never know what can happen, on the type of heat. I had a real hard time like eating anything
I was gonna
because
ask you
it's so
about that.
hot. It felt gross to eat.
No, I
And
get
so
it.
that was kind of a worry at some points because I did not like taking enough at all. I don't think. But going into it, no, my goal was just to finish. My big goal was to finish under 24 hours, which I did squeak in.
That's
Barely,
great.
but
That's
I did.
amazing. That's
Um,
amazing. Yeah. So how was your training plan for that? I mean, what did you use one or did you
I
have a
did. I
coach
used
or
one off of like that I bought off of Training Peaks. Art and I did the same one, except for he did the advanced version.
right?
So
Of course, because he's
his
hard. Yeah.
yeah. So I did like the intermediate or beginner one.
That's good.
Um, yeah, and so the big thing was learning how to. I'm one of those people who has a real high heart rate when I run,
Hmm.
and I can run a half marathon or run a full marathon like in with a 185 heart rate.
Ooh, wow, that's impressive.
But obviously you can't do that for 24 hours and not in that kind of heat. So
No.
the biggest thing for me was learning how to control that. So I had to start doing a lot of intervals.
Uh-huh.
And then, so I just playing around with running and walking or jogging and walking. And then finding out like what mentally felt the best
Hmm.
as far as the run walk. I ended up getting COVID, which I hadn't had. I managed to escape it this whole time. Probably almost maybe like, I don't know if it was 6 weeks before. And I got a lot sicker than I thought I would. Like I was real sick.
Oh,
And it was right before what would have been like my longest run where I would have tried to do 40 to 50 miles.
sure. Yeah.
And so I obviously couldn't do it. we pushed it back, and I had some friends who went and supported me at one of our local trails when I was going to try to do it. And that day I still just wasn't like 100%. And so the longest run I did was 36. I threw in the towel at 36 that day. And so I was definitely
undertrained.
Yeah, maybe undertrained. I just going into it, like, I didn't necessarily feel like I was in good shape. Like, I had felt like I'd just been sluggish and blah.
Sick. Yeah, I mean, good Lord.
Going
Yeah,
into
that's
it. But mentally, I knew that like I could take the pain.
awesome. That's amazing. So how do you use that mental thing? Is that like do you use that in other parts of your life, or how do you apply that? Yeah, again, as someone speaking, as someone who is really having a lot of trouble with her own mental game these days, I'm curious. I always like to ask people this.
I think, I don't know. I mean, I think I've just always, like, I'm a super type A personality, and I definitely was one of those people who always put a lot of pressure on myself to be successful and to be the best. But I think going into these kinds of things, I've learned to get rid of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And where it's just like about doing it and trying to find ways to enjoy it. I do most of my running alone, so it's very boring, very lonely out there. And so obviously having lots of conversations with my crazy self.
No, that's good. No, I mean, that's what you got to do. Do you listen to music or anything?
I do listen to music. I don't know how, I mean, I couldn't go that whole time without it. No. And I listened to music on and off in Habanero. The one thing that I really enjoyed about that and going that distance and having to walk and stuff because of the heat, it was the first time I ever talked to people during a race.
Yeah, it's so fun to make friends.
I'd never made friends in a race before, and it was really cool.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I call it summer camp friends. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, that's good. And it's nice to hear that you actually had to walk some of it too.
Oh
So
yeah. No, I mean, I planned right from the start to walk.
right. No, I mean, you have to, especially, yeah. I mean, but it's funny because people that don't run will ask, did you sleep? Did you eat? Did you walk? Because they don't really know,
Yeah.
It's so funny. But so did you have your husband and son out there supporting
My
you?
boys were not there. I thought it would just be too much for them, but my husband was there. My sister flew in from Chicago,
Oh,
which was really neat. And then Shirley was there, and she was my pacer for the last, I don't know, maybe a little over 30
she's
miles.
the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I'm talking to her on Monday. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And she helped with a lot of things. I have a lot of lower back problems.
Hmm.
I have degenerative disc disease, and my pelvis is all like out of whack. And so that leads to a lot of running and injury problems, which as I've gotten older, I've learned a lot of ways to, fix it and prevent it and remedy it and just be able to keep going. But probably 25 miles into Habanero, my back was just like killing me. I was like, oh my God. So like I laid down and Cheryl Lee was giving me a massage and stuff and stretching me. So it was really
good.
good.
No, that's so important. Yeah. Were you using pain relievers at all, if I can ask?
I did. I did take ibuprofen,
I
and I
know. I get it.
BioFreeze, the BioFreeze was actually really awesome because of the heat.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
thought about how it would feel good, and then at night when there was like the little breeze coming through, finally, the BioFreeze was nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think my like when I do at least 50K, I like midway through, I'm doing, therapeutic dose of ibuprofen because it's just sort of like, yeah.
No, people are like, no.
I know. So people don't try this at home, kids, but it's true. It's like you kind of have to, so so what do you think your next race is going to be? Or I'm assuming
I'm looking at maybe doing the Captain Carl's night race, the Perdonelis one.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I've never done just a straight night race. And
Fun.
so one, I like it there, but I know that's obviously the easiest of the series, which I think is probably a good
I
start.
don't know. I would like to say that maybe mule shoe might be the easier
Okay,
one.
well,
Yeah.
they claim that they get harder each time. And
Well,
that
I've done
one's
the 30K series, so yeah, yeah.
and so I was looking at the 60K, and then if I survive that, I have a friend who didn't finish at Rebel Ranch last year.
Yeah,
So I would maybe go back and try that with him.
that one. Have you ever run out there? It's like running on the moon. It really is. I tried the 60K. I'm not trying. You're a very different kind of runner from what I am, but yeah, I tried to do the 60K out there. I don't know, it was probably like 7 years ago, and I had on these shoes that were just like too big, and
Mhm.
they were the first iteration of the Speed Goat. It's
Okay.
that Vibram sole, and I was like in clown shoes, and I kept hitting the rocks and bouncing up and projecting myself down like a rocket, you know. And yeah, after one loop of whatever it was, 12 miles or whatever, I just said, okay, I gotta quit. It took me 4 hours. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it. I have full confidence that you'll be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna be volunteering out at those,
Okay.
and doing probably the 10Ks or something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, no, so I'm stupid. I didn't know anything about it, and I was talking to Art
No,
about
they're
it the other day,
fun.
and I was like, how bad can it be? It says it's a ranch, and he started laughing at me. He was like, oh my God, it's all rocks. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, no. They're so much fun. I really, really love the vibe of those races because again, it's a little different than a trot race, okay? Because you don't get as many people out there at those, but I don't know. That was like my first what I would call big boy trail race. I did
Okay.
that in 2012 out of Colorado Bend. I just did the 10K, but it was just like, oh, I love this scene. These people are so cool, and it was just fun. Yeah, and so I mean, and I have a very close spot in my heart for the guys at Tejas. Not that I don't like the trot guys or anything, but they're my folks. So
Okay.
yeah, and I love PJ, who is one of the race directors, is from the Valley. He's from Mercedes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, and he's like 29. I mean, funny story, I'll tell you real quick. I got him in trail racing. Okay, so he and I, we did the Wobble Gobble with Cheryl Lee. I forget how many years ago. It's probably like 7 or 8 years ago, and we volunteered and all that. And then I had dragged him up to Camp Eagle, which is, if you really love rocks and hills, that's the one to try. Anyway, so I dragged him up there and somebody else, and we did my first aid station where I was the captain, which was terrifying.
Okay.
But anyway, he got so into it that he was just like, he kept coming back. I mean, he was like me, he's like, oh, I love this. But then he ended up quitting his job and ended up becoming one of the race directors at
Wow.
Tate.
That's crazy.
God love him. I mean, yeah, and he's just awesome. I mean, all those guys. Yeah, I mean, and I love Cal, and Rob. Those guys are great too at Trot, so I mean, but yeah, there's just something about the guys at Tejas that it's a little closer to my heart. But well, I would look forward to seeing you out there. Then I'll be cheering you on.
Yeah.
I'll probably be working at the finish line, most likely, is what they usually got me doing. But yeah, I think the big thing with that one is just the heat training, but you're so used to that.
Yeah.
You should be okay, because I know the first time I tried the 30K out there, I was driving up with some people from the Valley, and they were like, oh yeah, so and so, they were like throwing up at Hell's Hills. And I'm like, why would you throw up at a race? That's so dumb. Well, about 8 hours later, guess who's puking on the side of the trail and had to like DNF the 30K because I had to quit 5 miles from the finish. I could not move. I tried to walk it, and it felt like the people that I was walking with were like, going 100 miles an hour. I was like, okay, this ain't happening. Anyway, not to scare you or anything. I'm just, yeah, again, I'm older than you. So I got a good 20 years on you, so you're gonna be fine. Just stay hydrated, and
Yeah,
the drill.
so my biggest concern will, like I said, be dealing with the terrain for both of them and doing it at night.
Yeah, I mean, headlamp is good. We used to carry like a little flashlight too sometimes. I have seen some people use those little waistband lamps too. I haven't tried that yet, but it's just a piece of advice from somebody who's been around for a long time and not that good at it, um but yeah, the Captain Carl series is just, yeah, you should really try doing all four because you can get the buckle. And yeah, I mean, and then they have like a an award ceremony and stuff if you finish all four, and you may, because not everybody finishes all four.
Mhm.
And so yeah, not only do you get the buckle, but then you might also get some other, sort of awards. I'm just saying, just something to think about. But yeah,
Okay.
but I love
I
those.
After Habanero, I was like, okay, I'm for sure never coming back to this place. But then of course, as time goes on, you forget
Oh
how
yeah.
wonderful you were. And I do actually really want to go back. I can't this year. It just doesn't work out with my schedule. It's
Have
the
you done
week.
Jackalope yet?
I haven't.
I did
Um,
that. I did that one this year. I did the 6 hour, and that was kind of
okay.
fun. That was kind of fun.
Um,
Yeah. You might
but
enjoy that. Yeah.
I really think well, with both, I had really wanted to go back and do the 100K at Brazos
Oh, right.
as well. I really think I could have, like, I don't want to sound cocky, but I really think I could have went back and broke the course record by like a
Oh,
lot.
that's amazing. I'm sure
I
you could.
I messed around a lot because one, it was my first and I was trying to enjoy the experience, but I was
We are. Yeah.
changing clothes when I didn't need to be, and all sorts of things that I didn't need to be doing at Brazos for sure. But they got rid of it in April. Like they moved it to where the December one will have
December. Yeah.
both
Yeah. Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah.
And in December, I'm gonna do the 100 miler.
Oh, that's so cool. That's exciting. Yeah. I've done the 50 out there at least once. I tried the 50 this year, and then I got these giant blisters underneath my big toenails, and
Oh,
so I
yeah.
had to drop because I was trying to do snowdrop, that
Mm-hmm.
thing going. If you've got a good mental game, snowdrop is your race. Let me just
Okay.
say. It is not mine. But it's fun. It's nice because it's flat, and again, being a valley person, you might enjoy that one. Just
Yeah.
something to think about. But and Brazos might be a good, warm up for that one. So just
Okay.
listen to me throwing out advice like I.
Yeah.
Oh
Our one hill is an overpass. That's
yeah,
what
we used to do that. Yeah,
we all go run on, is this one
in
overpass.
McAllen, yeah, we used to do this one on Second Street. Oh yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I lived in the valley for about 13 years, so I I get all those challenges, and that's why I really admire you guys for going up. You guys, those of you who live in the valley, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And again, I still kind of consider myself part of a valley person, and just seeing people come up and doing really well at those hill country races and things like that. I mean, because that's hard. Because I mean, there's really not a lot of places for
No,
us,
there's not at
for y'all to
all.
train. So yeah, McKelvey is okay, but Sullivan City is okay, but
Yeah.
it's not like that's around the corner.
No,
So
and you're running like at McKelvey, it's a million tiny little loops. Like,
no, I get, yeah. So it's so it's although the loops do help with your mental training, I think. So yeah, so there's that. So what do your students think about you doing all this? Or do they know?
they do know. Yeah, they know. They think it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they
The,
understand what you're doing? I mean, because
um, yes and no. Like, I mean, I think it's hard for a lot of people to grasp like what running running 100 miles is like.
in the
So
heat, yes.
they think I'm crazy, but I think they already know I'm crazy. So
That's awesome though. No, that's cool. So do your kids run?
sometimes because I force them to, they don't like running.
I get that. Yeah.
We go through phases where I'm like, okay, come on, we're gonna like sign up for a 5K together. And then we'll start training, and then they'll be like, Mom, no, and they get all grumpy and so we'll do like little walk run ratios and I'll have to like be like having them chant, I can do hard things. while we're going.
That's awesome. No, I love it. And your husband, is he a runner?
No, he's just my cheer team.
No, that's good. It's important. That's significant. No, that's awesome. So wow. So is there anything else that you would like to throw in, about your running career that I've not asked you about? I mean, I feel like I've kind of like blasted through this
I
90 minutes.
don't really think so. It's weird. I don't feel like I have I don't have a running career.
No, but you're still pretty significant for winning a lot of the races that you are trying for the first time. So I mean, I don't really meet a lot of people like that, and so I think that makes you what I would call an extraordinary person in my podcast language. So no, but I really appreciate you reaching out to me, and yeah, it was funny when I put that I put out a post last week, asking people to, hey, do you want to be interviewed? Blah, blah, blah. And then I got inundated. I mean, I've got like a list of people sitting here. It's just like, wow, okay, and so I'm just trying to like juggle people, but it was a nice problem to have. I mean, of course, Cheryl Lee told me about you, and she had a couple of other people, so I'm still trying to get that all set up. But then I'm going to talk to her, and then I got somebody else tomorrow, and I got 2 people on Monday, and I talked to somebody yesterday.
Wow.
So yeah, I know. So it's kind of picking up. It makes me excited because my own running career right now is sort of, I don't want to say stalled, but it's like I went out and tried to run today, and I've got the worst allergies. And so I just could not stop sneezing. And so I was just like, okay, I can't do
Hill
this.
country and allergies is bad for me. Every time I go up there for
Even
a
the
race,
valley, yeah.
stock up with Sudafed to go run in hill country. I don't know what it is up there though that bothers me because it's
Tree pollen, yeah, there's just all kinds of stuff up here. And yeah, and of course I'm so dumb because I forget to take my medicine, and so now I'm on my medicine, like the Claritin D, like the serious stuff, and so now
that's
I
what
feel a
I
lot
have.
better. So I'm like, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll go out and try to do this, but yeah, so I've been interested, but I still love the sport, and I love talking to people about it, and want to continue it. It's just right now it's been sort of interesting with all the allergies, and I'm slightly injured and all this other stuff. So it's like, oh. But anyway, well, I'm going to stop recording right now.